What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. I'm Brad.
Not Miguel.
And yesterday we got a massive Halloween update. This is the first real thing we've heard about the franchise since Halloween Ends released last year. And before we do this, no, this is not one of those things that came from your sister's ass that somebody's cousin told their dad that knew Malek Akkad at some point in his life, that their cousin's hooker told them that this was happening. No, like, this is legit information. This was broken by Bloody Disgusting, and it's been verified by different people connected to Bloody Disgusting. This is the real deal, and there is a real bidding war happening for the rights to the Halloween franchise, and a lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings about it. Considering what happened last year with Halloween Ends, considering you have an entire crew of people who are like, look, somebody finally had the balls to kill off Michael Myers, leave it alone. It's done. We don't need any more of him. We don't need anything else. That's it. It's over. But then you also have a whole other crew of people who are like, hey, do the anthology thing. And then there's another group that's like, hey, Season of the Witch hasn't been touched in all these years. And then you have the other people that are like, no, just remake Halloween. I mean, there's so many different avenues that this could go. And there's so many different ways that this could go. And I
know. Look, I can totally understand how this can be somewhat exciting, frustrating, and pondering, shall I say? Because, like, I genuinely do not know, like, what more we could get in regards to Michael Myers, considering how well they like tied Blumhouse's trilogy up in a nice little chum-like bowl. You know what I mean?
You're about to rustle feathers because I listen, I cannot scroll through social media without someone somewhere on some social media platform being like, hey, in case you forgot, Halloween Ends sucked. And I'm like, let's move on. Like, give me a real reason why you think it sucked, or let's move on to something else, because I'm kind of sick of the whole, like, oh, it was a terrible movie, it sucked, it did this, Michael was a pussy, blah, blah. Like, okay, I get it. We've heard it a million times. Like, let's move on. Let's move on to something.
Why wasn't Michael 25 in this movie?
I know. Why wasn't he like John Wick again? Bro was like pushing 70 and he had been destroyed. Like, yeah, I don't know. But so we wanted to give you from the horse's mouth
my favorite
itself.
Picture of Michael.
I know, right? The future of Halloween, Malek Akkad currently shopping the rights for film and TV. This was an exclusive report that broke yesterday from Bloody Disgusting. And yes, as Miguel said, there is good old Mikey Mike himself standing in Laurie's, her living room or foyer, whatever that part of the house.
Whatever you lucky homeowners fucking say.
Whatever you lucky hoes say. All right. Anyways, straight from Bloody Disgusting, last Halloween season marked the release of Halloween Ends, the final film in a 3-film trilogy from director David Gordon Green, billed as the final battle, really this time, but also not really, between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. Halloween Ends wrapped up not only the Gordon Green sequel trilogy, but also Universal and Blumhouse's time with the iconic horror franchise. The sequel trilogy was produced by Blumhouse Productions and released into theaters by Universal Pictures as part of a pact with Miramax from a deal with Malek Akkad's Trancas International Films, and it looks like the ball is now back in the court of the Akkad family. So what's next for the Halloween franchise, you might be wondering. So essentially what's happened, just really quickly to roll this into a nice little risotto ball and shove it in your mouth.
Risotto ball.
Yeah, the Italian's coming out of me. So after Halloween Ends, Universal lost the rights. Not lost. I mean, it was part of their deal. They were always going to lose the rights. They did not retain them. They've gone back to Trancas International and the Akkad name. And he is shopping around for the next owner of the rights to the franchise, who is going to come along and do the next thing with Michael Myers. So, continuing, Bloody Disgusting can exclusively report this week that Malek Akkad's Trancas International Films is actively shopping the rights to the Halloween franchise around Hollywood. For clarity, while Miramax co-owns the film's rights, Trancas is the sole owner of all television rights. Now, that's really important because from what we understand, there is a massive bidding war going on right now for television rights in bold, with several different parties interested and vying for the chance to bring Michael Myers back to life. We're hearing exclusively that A24 and Miramax are the two main parties currently in battle for TV rights, and that A24 is currently leading the charge. As you might recall, A24 won the rights to produce a Friday the 13th television series, and it's being made for the Universal-owned Peacock. It's titled Crystal Lake. Now, here's that. That is extremely interesting to me, because
the Crystal Lake TV show?
No, but the fact that A24 is kind of leading the charge and that they're winning this battle for the rights, because A24, is it really a battle? I would think so.
It's straight up just one click, bid.
I know, right?
Bid. So climatic.
Malek Akkad is sitting there doing the whole like the Star Wars thing. 6 shots times 6 times. No, but essentially, I find it really interesting because number one, A24 already has the Crystal Lake series that they're in the middle of. So is this going to be a situation where, like, okay, say they score Halloween, are they going to try and score Elm Street too? Like, are they going to be the next big slasher powerhouse?
Are you wanting A24 to contain the monopoly on all of our horror icons?
I don't know, but I'll say this. I'm not super picky. I've said this before. I'm not insanely picky on who gets the rights. Everybody wants to fall into this, who should get the rights, what director, what writer, what studio, blah, 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 blah. Like, who wants this? I don't really care who gets the rights, if we're being completely honest. Now,
you just want another Michael Myers project.
I want a good Michael Myers project. I want if they're gonna do Halloween, if they're gonna do this, I want it to be good. And I think A24 has a reputation of being, they make very artsy horror films. They make very stylistic horror films, and I think if you're gonna have a studio do it, I mean, I'd be 100% down.
I can't see A24 not really knocking it out of the park.
Right, and
I wouldn't even expect them to like try to like reboot it. It wouldn't even be. I don't think rebooting is even on like A24's like.
I don't know if it is either.
Like on top of their docket of things to do for Michael Myers. You know what I mean?
And if it is a reboot, it won't be like a true like a Rob Zombie like reboot where it's like you're starting another, you're kicking off another universe. I don't think it'll take place within one of the previous universes. But I also don't.
Please don't do a.
I also don't.
Or icon verse.
Yeah,
thing like that.
But I don't think A24 wouldn't do that. Now, I could see other studios leaning towards that.
Are you sure?
I don't think we need that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, didn't A24 did Malignant? That one got like really superhero vibe, like very quick.
Kind of, yeah, but I don't know. It's very artsy. It's very weird. Like, I could see them having the balls to do something different with it, and I'd almost be okay with that. Possibly.
No, I mean, I'm not by no means like saying that A24 is not going to do a good job. I'm just curious as to like where you fall in regards to like curiosity wise, like what do you think is up A24's sleeve? Like, what do you think they can bring to the table in regards to like for however long they're going to have this contract? Because I mean, obviously right now we know that they're bidding, but we don't know how long they're going to have the contract. You know what I mean? It could be like for a trilogy like Blumhouse, or however much longer for a TV show, whether how many seasons it gets. You know what I
mean? Yeah. Well, we'll get to that in just a second. Let's finish this article real quick. So, Bloody Disgusting sources have also indicated that Trancas is open to both film and television projects, and they're currently taking offers from studios and streamers alike. Everything is on the table at this time, and it's ultimately up to Trancas to field pitches and decide what is most appealing to them in the wake of Gordon Green's sequel trilogy. Miramax would be a participant in any film deal as they co-own film rights to all sequels. Last year's Halloween Ends was the 13th installment in the Halloween franchise, the 12th, of course, to include Michael Myers, which to date has never made its way onto the small screen. Could Michael Myers return with a television series, or is another feature film reboot up next on the menu? Only time will tell. Stay tuned for more on all things Halloween as we learn it. In the meantime, comment down below, blah, 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 all that stuff. Only one thing is for certain.
Same thing we say at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I know, right? Michael Myers will be back. Now, they updated this today and said Malek Akkad's Trancas International Films is the current rights holder for the TV and Miramax. Hold on. Is the current rights holder for TV and Miramax is one of the parties bidding on the property. Miramax co-owns film rights. The headline and article were adjusted to reflect this. Now, that's what's interesting. Miramax already co-owns the franchise. Now, they own film rights only. Trancas owns both film and television rights. Now, you were talking about A24 earlier and kind of what I thought they would do if they got it. I don't know exactly what A24 would do, but I think A24 would make it super stylistic, super dark, super not grungy. I'm trying to think like art housey. You know what I mean? It would be a darker, more serious tone, I think, than like what we got with Halloween Kills, for example. I don't think there'd be as much comedy. I don't think there would be quite as much. Like, I feel like they're going to be trying to say something with it. Now, if it's a TV series, I don't know how I feel about a Michael Myers only TV series. I don't know if I'm about that. Me, in a perfect world, my thought is that, okay, if one of these studios got streaming rights, they're going to do one of three things. They're going to just do a Michael Myers series. They're going to make it like the original Halloween 78 story, but throw it in a TV multi-episode format. B, they're going to do Season of the Witch, which I don't think that's quite as much on the table anymore. There was a rumor for a while that Paramount wanted the rights so that they could do a Season of the Witch series. I don't think that's going to happen. Although I would love to see a Halloween 3 Season of the Witch series. I think that'd be dope. I think that'd make a really, really cool TV series. Or 3, they're going to do the anthology.
It's a forgotten, cherished
it
project. Let's be honest.
Or 3, they're going to do the anthology thing where, okay, you have, say they order a 6-episode series. If you do the Halloween anthology, 4 of those can be randoms, like whatever. And the last 2 can be a Season of the Witch episode where they can tell that story. Or the last one can be a, you tell the Michael Myers Halloween story. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're going to do with it, but I don't know that, I don't know that it'll go to the big screen. I really think that streaming is kind of the next stop for the franchise. And I don't know if I like that or not. I like it. I like going to the movie theater. I like a feature film presentation. I don't know how well the Shape is going to work in a television series format. And I could be wrong. I think Crystal Lake is a little bit different. It's two different. It's two different animals. So I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, if whoever gets the rights, I mean, what do you think should come next for it?
Well, I can personally see a TV show coming in, or a reboot season if that's on the table as well. I mean, I could totally understand why they would want to go for a reboot, because I mean, obviously reboots are going to be reboots no matter what. But I don't see A24 wanting to like cheapen Green's trilogy like that quick. So
I don't think they'll care.
I'm only thinking of like what A24 would do. I'm not really thinking about what Miramax would do, but just in general, for both of the studios' sake, I mean, yes, a reboot is always on the table. Whether I think it could be like an anthology or Season of the Witch, I highly doubt it. Even though I'd like to be at Season of the Witch, because you guys, I'm a fan of Season of the Witch. It was probably like my top 3 projects.
Yeah.
But I think that if it's going to be on Peacock, I could totally see it being a season, like a TV series. Now, what that would consist of, I don't know. I mean, Michael Myers hasn't been touched by a TV series. I don't think ever.
Never.
So I think it's definitely there's some room there to grow the franchise out much further than, your typical trilogy project over the next 8 years or so. Because how long did Blumhouse have Michael Myers?
I mean, they had it from 2017 to last year. I mean,
so
they had it,
2022. So they had it
how
for
however long it took from the time, I like when they announced Halloween 2018, and then from the time that Halloween ended.
Yeah.
So
you tell me, do you think that, because I don't know if that's a standard for any contract. I mean, if TV is on the table for these contracts, how long do you think this contract will last? You know what I mean?
well,
So
I
like,
think it. I finish your thought. Finish your
no,
thought.
because just overall, I think that depending on who gets it, whether or not either studio gets it, I personally think that the contract that will be put in place will be much longer than Blumhouse. So therefore, which studio do you think is going to give us like the better alternative for a season of Michael Myers? You know what I mean? Like whether it's anthology or just a story of Michael Myers.
If they're gonna go the TV series route, which it sounds like,
because personally, it sounds like that's what's happening.
it sounds like that's what's on the table. I mean, I think if somebody came to Malek with an incredible film pitch, I mean, I don't think he would pass it up. But I also, from what this article sounds like and from what's being talked about, I kind of think that the TV, or not the film, the TV series rights are kind of the main thing on the table. Personally, I think if it's going to be a television show.
You said Peacock or Paramount?
There was a rumor that Paramount was in, but I think Paramount is out, or at least not winning. I think it's going to come down between Miramax or A24. And if it's really between those two, I'm going to pick A24 because Miramax is already, we've seen what Miramax has done with it. And that era kind of felt like its own thing. The Halloween 6, Rob Zombie's films, H2O, Resurrection, like that all kind of had its own feeling anyways. And it wasn't bad. I mean, again, some of my favorite moments of the franchise came from that era. But it had its own, I mean, it's like you with the Godzilla stuff. I mean, there are things that you like about certain eras and there are things that you dislike, But we've already seen what Miramax, I'm not saying they would do the same exact thing or would feel the same way, but we've already gotten Miramax Halloween films.
I think that with the momentum that A24 has and the track record that it has, I don't see it being any more of a risk to give it to A24 instead of giving it to Miramax, which we already know what projects we would be expecting from it. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think if between the two of them, I would personally choose A24. Now, do I think that A24 would do? I mean, they might do something that I'm like, that was atrocious. That was terrible.
That shit. No,
but I also think that they could do something really, really cool and really, really interesting with it. It just depends. And I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun to speculate about this and talk about this. And I find it really interesting that the Halloween 45 convention, this big convention that everybody's been talking about for months and months and months, is this weekend. And this news broke yesterday.
Do you think that's going to be one of the major...
I don't know. But if they're in the... Part of me is like, oh, are they going to try and announce something in Halloween 45? But at the same time, like, if they're in the middle of a bidding war, how are they going to have anything to
any
announce
type of contract
by Saturday or Sunday? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the deal would be finalized by that point. So I don't know. It's going to be speculation city with this for a little while until we get any kind of update. Who knows? We might wake up tomorrow and they're like, hey, you know what? A24 got it. Or, hey, Miramax got it. Or somebody could just completely come out of the woodwork and be like, hey, so-and-so got it. I don't know. Again, I just hope that no matter what it does, whether it's a film, whether it's a remake, whether it's a prequel, whether it's an anthology, like whatever, especially if you're going to use Michael Myers, do the story justice. Like tell a good story, whether you use Laurie Strode, whether you don't use Laurie Strode, whether, whatever you do, I just hope that that the characters and the story is treated with respect and I don't want to. I'll tell you what I don't want to see. I know that there are people that are like, go back and tell Jamie Lloyd's story. Go back and finish some of the other timelines. Do not go back and finish any other timelines. Like, I don't want Rob Zombie's Halloween 3. I don't want a sequel to Halloween 5. I don't want a sequel to Halloween 2. Like, just move on. Like, give us something new.
I personally think I agree with that statement.
Else. I don't need that. Like, love all of that. I
think the meat and potatoes of
6. Leave them alone.
Yeah, I think the meat and potatoes of the previous Halloween franchise and storyline was the Laurie Strode, was to finish off that, was to finish off Jamie Lee Curtis's story. I think Jamie's story had some skin in the game, but I think that story is long drawn and over, if that makes sense.
If you're trying to market that to general audiences are going to be like, what's
you're
Jamie
gonna need
Lloyd? Who is that? Why? Like, what? People are going to be confused. So there's going to be a lot of speculation. There's going to be a lot of talk. If you would, please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Where do you think Halloween should go next? Should it be a TV series? Should it be a film? Should it be a remake? Should they do the anthology? Should we hit up Season of the Witch? I'll tell you what, no matter what happens, if they do bring Michael back, I hope somebody gets Season of the Witch, and I hope they do something with it. Because I really do. I think Season of the Witch, the lore is there to stretch it out and to nuance it and to work it and to knead it and to play with it intimately, if you want, in a script for several episodes. Like, I think the story is there to do a series. So I don't know. I'd be down to see what they did with the Season of the Witch series. But please leave us a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Listen, mark your calendar. Set an alarm. I'm trying to.
I know how to do that.
I don't even know what else you're gonna do. But Friday night at 8 p.m. the second annual Let's Talk Movies Oktoberfest begins. This is all horror content all month long. A month-long celebration of horror right here at the channel. On Sunday night, we've got a new video dropping. Or on Friday night, I'm getting my dates mixed up. On Friday night, we've got a new video dropping. On Saturday night, we've got a new video dropping. Next week, on Tuesday, October 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are joined by Brad and the Brett Man of Good Real Hunting, as well as Nick from the Lost River Drive-In, to talk all of the things we love and hate and loathe and whatever else about Halloween 1978 and Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007. We're going to compare and contrast those two films. You all in the chat will have a chance to vote on which version of the character or the score or the mask or the cinematography or whatever else you prefer from each of the films. And that's going to be a really, really good time. And we're so looking forward to this upcoming Halloween season. We've got Scarefest in there, and this year's Scarefest is going to be the biggest that we've ever been to. I mean, it's that vlog is going to be massive.
And thank God that the strike is over as well, so that way we have a lot more stuff coming down the woodwork.
Well, the part that affects that though, the SAG strike is still ongoing, I believe, unless they've reached a deal I haven't seen. So.
Unless they succeed in something.
Right. So, but listen, it's going to be an amazing month. So please, if you would, I never usually ask people to do this, but subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, leave this video a like, leave us a comment, let us know your thoughts, do all of the typical YouTuber, leave it a like kind of stuff. And, but listen, we love you. Happy Tuesday. What is today? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, whatever. Going up on a Tuesday.
I refuse to acknowledge that one.
But listen, have an awesome rest of your week. Happy Halloween. And Oktoberfest begins Friday, man. The month-long celebration. It's time. So, as always, we love you. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at LTM Podcast KY. New episodes of our shows premiere every single week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And we will talk to you soon. We love you. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.